Good afternoon. My name is Dori White, and I am a career advisor at Loyola Career Services. And I'm here today to present to you the Preparing for the Social Work Networking and Career Fair video. So, in order to get connected with career services, we do have two central locations. Our first one is in the Water Tower, which is in the Schreiber Center, Suite 115. Our second location is the Sullivan Center, Suite 255. You can also look us up on luc.jointhandshake.com. And you can also contact us directly at the Career Center with any questions. We also encourage you to follow our Instagram at LUC_career. So I want to talk a little bit about accessibility. Of course, we do have students in this population who have disabilities and they may request internship accommodations. You can do so through the Loyola Student Accessibility Center. If you have an existing accommodation, please still meet with the SAC to be eligible for internship accommodations. The internship accommodations are reviewed on a case-by-case basis, and they really would like you to apply at least 8 weeks before the start of their internship. Here are some ways to apply. You can fill out the registration form link. You can also submit documentation via the application email or fax it. If they do have any questions for you, they will email you to schedule a meeting or request that additional information. And then once you are approved, you will be sent a letter as well as the faculty and staff. Letters of accommodation will not be shared directly with the internship site, so that it will be something that you would have to do. Again, there is some information at the bottom of this slide if you do need accommodations for your internship site, or if you would like to meet with the Accessibility Center to talk about accommodations in general as you prepare for graduation, as you prepare to apply for jobs, or even talking about it with people at the fair. All the information is here for you in this slide, so please do not hesitate to reach out. Here is our agenda. We're going to do a quick overview of the career fair. We're going to review networking, how to set a plan of attack, how to prep for the fair ahead of time, what you're going to be doing the day of the fair, and some things that you can do after the fair to ensure that you network and make some great connections. So the overview of the fair. The fair will be Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. The time is 3 to 6 p.m. It will be at the Schreiber Center, which is on 16 East Pearson. It will be on floors 9 and 10. You will check in the lobby. You will be given a map. That map will tell you where all the employers are, which floors and table numbers. I will be there, so if you do need to speak with an advisor, please feel free to stop, have a chat with me. And as you'll see later, we're going to be doing something during the fair and something after with career services so that you guys have plenty of time to debrief, ask questions, and get all the help that you need. What to expect? The career fair allows you to network with employers and recruiters. The great thing about this is you can learn more about companies, the available positions. This is the time to ask all of those burning questions that you may have. The best advice is keep the interaction simple. You will not be the only person visiting the table. You will not be the only person that an employer talks to. Having overcomplicated questions, holding a lot of their time and attention, which can possibly be distracting if other people are waiting, could possibly have a more negative effect than what you want to do. Prioritize what's most important to you. Have clear and concise questions. So something very short, clear, concise, something they can answer very quickly. Prioritize what you want to know the most because, again, you're working with a limited amount of time. You may meet a recruiter or hiring manager. Remember, your priority here is to network, not to ask for a job or a role. If you were offered the opportunity to apply for a role, please do proceed if you are interested. That is the great thing about the fair. They will talk to you about the open roles. They will let you know if they think you're a good fit. If you are interested, make sure to get some information so you can follow up during the application process, network with that particular recruiter or hiring manager, get some feedback. But again, this is after this has been presented to you. You do not want to necessarily do this as your main question going in to talk to a recruiter or a hiring manager. Why should you network at a career fair? There are several reasons. These are just a few. Develop job leads. Most of you are going to be graduating or soon will be graduating. And so you want to do these job leads. You want to figure out where should you be applying to. We talk about networking, but growing that professional network is going to be key. So you can grow your professional social work contacts, network contacts at this fair. You can practice your networking and professional speaking skills. So answering some of those questions, like tell me about yourself or why are you interested in this company, or even practicing questions that you should be asking employers and recruiters. You can talk directly to people who work at a site that you may be interested in. So you can get a realistic, real-time view of what it's like to work there from somebody who is working there. Any other questions you may have about their experience, or maybe questions that you have about how to get to where they're at. You can do that at the career fair. So that is another great reason why you should network. A great way to meet several employers and find several opportunities in a short time span. Job searching does take a lot of time. Networking, informational interviews, trying to do all of that separately can take a lot of time and can seem very overwhelming. But this career fair is a central hub for you to be able to do all of these things. Networking at a career fair. Networking seems complicated. It does seem intimidating. I think it is what most students have an innate fear of doing. But here are some tips that we have to help you with it. Focus more about building relationships. This is a perfect time to talk and learn more about the employers and their work environment. We're going to take that back to your morals and your values. What are you looking for in a position? What are you looking for in a workplace? You can talk with these people, build relationships, and get information you might not otherwise get. Sharing information. You can talk to things that are appealing to the recruiter, showcase your knowledge, showcase those skills that you learned by doing directly this, which will in the long term help you when you want to apply. Be genuine in your interactions with recruiters. Ask industry specific questions. Avoid questions about pay, perks. Is there a way that you can refer me to a position? I graduate in May. I really want to work there. What are some jobs that are hiring, or can you pass my resume along? Make sure that this comes off as a genuine interaction, genuine curiosity for what you are interested in. Many times, employers, recruiters can tell when you are just talking to them for an opportunity or to get something out of them. And while they may have been willing to give that information, if they do feel that that is all you're there for, it can be a little off-putting. So keep that in mind. What do I ask an employer? A lot of times this comes up. People don't typically know what to ask. So, what are some questions to ask an employer? What does a typical day look like for someone in this role? What is the hiring process like? What do you like about the company? What are some challenges you faced in your role? How does your company commit to the professional development of its employees? And what is one quality that the ideal candidate for this role possesses? These are really great questions to ask employers. You're testing their knowledge, you're testing their commitment to the company as well. You're seeing, are they enthusiastic about promoting these roles? How do they feel about their own personal journey? Has this company helped them grow? Things that, again, are important to you when you are looking for a potential internship or a potential job. These are some really great questions to get those juices flowing and open up a conversation between you and the recruiter and the employer. I think this is a great start off point if you do have some nervousness and you maybe don't know how to open up the door for a conversation. Asking some of these genuine questions will be great. So some self-reflection before the fair. I think this is really good. What is your goal for attending the fair? Knowing your goal will help you with your plan of attack. If you are there to get leads on jobs or leads on open positions, that's great. But how are you going to approach it in a professional manner that you can still get that information without it seeming as that this is the only reason that you came. If you're there to network, to genuinely build connections, to meet people and do informational interviews, plan for that. By knowing the goal, why you're going, what you're hoping to get out of it, you can better prepare yourself. What can I do Or what do I want to know before the day of the fair? So if you want to research the companies, if you want to maybe figure out more information about your resume and cover letters, if you want to check on your handshake profile, make sure that it's up to date. You can do all these things before the fair. You can, go on Handshake and look at the employers. You can schedule an appointment with me for a resume review, for a LinkedIn review. You can talk to your school about places that you maybe should looking based off of your major and your career interests. There's a lot of things you can do to prepare. What do I want professionals to know about me when I talk to them? What are the key things that you want them to know? You're going to phrase this in your elevator pitch, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Knowing what you want to get across will help you articulate it better. What are your concerns about attending the fair? Are you nervous about your resume? Do you get anxiety? Are you not sure what to talk about, what to touch on? Maybe you're a career changer and you want to know how to talk about the things you did before you went into social work. Those are things that you should basically be thinking about a couple of days before the fair. That gives you time to reach out to people and gives you time to talk about these things so that you feel more comfortable. What should I bring with me to the fair? Well, of course, bring a couple copies of your resume. I always feel like that's great. Some paper and a pen. You might want to write some information down that you get. Um, Definitely have your phone because you're going to be scanning the QR codes on the tables of the employers you want to talk to. You might want to share some social media. There is a thing now where people have actual virtual business cards that they will airdrop to you. So please do have your phone or your device with you so that you can connect in those ways as well. So we're going to review the fair details. This is an accurate description of what it looks like in Handshake. I recommend everyone go to Handshake, pull this up. Please do register for it and take a look at the employers. There will also be some tips in there about what you can do to prepare, contact person, and you can view the list of employers. I highly recommend you do that. That goes with your plan of attack. That goes with planning about who you want to talk to, what you want to talk about. So I do recommend everyone take a couple of minutes to look at this. So goal setting. Set a few intentional SMART goals for attending the event. And these are some examples. By the end of the event, I want to meet at least 4 school social work sites, have 2 in-depth conversations with hiring managers, exchange information with at least 3 organizations that work with youth and 3 that employ therapists, learn about 4 new positions that you qualify for that you didn't know about before the fair. So this is going in to those SMART goals. We talk about this a lot when it comes to going to the fair, job seeking. You want to break your goals down into something that you can measure, achieve, that is realistic. You can do it in a timely fashion and it's very specific. This takes that anxiety off of you when you're trying to figure out who to talk to, what information you should get, how should you follow up. These are things that you can set before, during, and after the fair to keep you on task, and it will make it feel a little bit less overwhelming for you. If you don't know what those SMART goals are, if you're having trouble working them out, please do feel free to make an appointment with the Career Center, talk to your internship coordinator, but please do take the time to focus on something like this so you can have smooth transitions throughout the fair. Know your target. Employer research will be key. As much as you want to know about an employer, they want to know about your interest in their company. So these are things that you should know prior to talking about their company. And also, again, talking points. The employers at the fair, they will be giving you basic information, but it is very impressive when you can talk about the work that they're doing or the mission of the organization. You can give details about the populations they serve. It holds them accountable for also being able to back up any questions you have with facts and with actual real life things because they know that you know what you're talking about. They see that you've invested the time to learn about them. So you're holding them just as accountable. What will make you stand out? You'll know to talk about that if you research the employer. What have they been in the news for, especially community-based organizations, therapy organizations? What is the work that they're doing? How do your goals and your long-term wants fit in with that? What don't you know that you would like to find out? This is where those targeted questions come in and you can showcase your knowledge about the organization. Using LinkedIn before the fair. So this coincides with what we just talked about. Follow employers you are interested in on LinkedIn. This is part of the discovery and part of the SMART goals we talked about. Following gives you insight into potential open roles. You can learn a lot about the company. And again, you have talking points to use with these recruiters. You can also see if there's a Loyola alumni who works there or had worked there. You can learn a lot from people that have worked at some of these places. And you guys have Loyola in common, so it makes the conversation a lot easier to get started. So some reminders, update your resume and upload it to Handshake. You want to prioritize your social work experience. Highlight and showcase skills that are relevant to social work. Try your best to incorporate language from the job descriptions and use transferable language to describe academic experiences. I also want to say social work experience is very broad. So another thing to do to prepare is what transferable skills, what experience is going to stand out the best with these employers. This is where your research comes in and when you start really thinking about what kind of employers and companies you want to work for. So then when you tailor your resume, you can pull out those experiences, whether they be social work related directly from your internship, or they could be transferable skills that you picked up working in customer service in the restaurant industry. A lot of times there are things that do make you a qualified candidate that are not directly social work experience, like you didn't get it from an internship, but you don't know if they're relevant because you haven't taken the time to see how those skills can transfer over. If you are having trouble with that, again, you still have time to make an appointment with career services. You still have time to talk to your internship coordinators and try to figure that out. Um, and definitely break down your academic experiences into real life time. And then, also still highlight your social work experience and go into details with that type of experience. On your resume, those should be your robust bullet points. Those should show all those social work skills you want them to show. While maybe your customer service jobs or your service jobs may highlight transferable skills, but you may not put as much emphasis on that. Here is a sample resume. As you can see, this is a sample social work resume. We're going to do all your basic information, relevant work experience, additional work experience. This is really great because the actual bolded words and phrases show how the person was able to incorporate things from the job into the resume. So look for key language when we talk about updating your resume. Highlight certain things, like if you worked with associations, if you've worked at volunteering in certain places that will stand out for you. Using those quantitative numbers, managing 5 to 10 clients, facilitated a group of 16, 18, if you don't have a number, approximately, very specific, as you can see in this particular bullet point. You want to try to get as specific as possible in your bullet points to really highlight those skills. Preparing your Handshake profile. You want to upload your resume and complete your Handshake profile with the info you want to include. Determine your privacy settings. Who do you want to see you? We recommend using community because your profile is visible to employers, students, and alumni across Handshake. You don't want to limit who can see you because you don't know who may possibly have an opportunity for you, and you don't know who may want to network with you in the future. So that is some tidbits to know. Another reason to have your Handshake profile ready when you get to the fair, as I mentioned earlier, you will scan a QR code and all of your information will go to that employer. So when you're doing your follow-up emails and you're doing your networking and they're going back through things after, having that nice robust profile will validate anything you guys talked about at the fair. We're going to go over some examples of some transferable skills. As I mentioned in a prior slide, all skills do not have to be very specific to things you did in social work. There's a lot of transferable skills you'll get from other ways, other avenues, other jobs that you should highlight. And you should definitely see how you can highlight those skills in relation to the positions you're applying for. A few things that I think I see a lot, active listening, conflict resolution, de-escalation, customer service, organizational skills, collecting data, analyzing data, creating reports, charts, and graphs, Perfect example, you might have had a marketing background and now you're going into social work. A lot of what you did in marketing with your interpersonal, data management, your clerical, and even your program development will transfer over into social work in some type of way. But it is up to you to take the time to see how it will transfer over and pull those skills out of those roles and highlight them for whoever you're going to be talking to. The day of the fair. So the fair is here. You have arrived. You've stopped. You've checked in. You have a question. We will have an Ask an Advisor table. I will be at the Ask an Advisor table. This is great for practicing your elevator pitch. Test driving a question you may want to ask an employer. You might want to say, is this a good question to ask? You're looking for a specific employer and you just need help finding them. Processing your experience at the fair. Celebrating a victory. Maybe you networked and you got a referral for a position. Maybe you even secured an interview. You can come and talk with me, celebrate, talk about your next steps. What we're doing a little bit different this year that I think is going to be great is after the fair, I will be sticking around from 6 to 7 and you can debrief with me. This is perfect for, okay, this fair was great, but what do I do next? How do I send that follow-up email? Maybe you met a lot of different people and you want to sit and talk to me about who you should be following up with for an informational interview, or what leads should you be following up with based off of your career goals. The timeline to apply to positions of interest. Maybe a company said they don't have anything right now, but they will be posting something for the summer. You might want to know when you should look, when is the best time to apply. When should you be reaching out to see about things? You may have questions about that, and we can talk about that. How to build your network with new connections you have made. Maybe you've made all these connections, you added everybody on LinkedIn, now you want to know what you should do next. How can you maintain these connections? We can talk about that at the post-fair debrief. So we're going to talk about the elevator pitch. The elevator pitch, it's a quick synopsis of who you are, what you do, and what your goal is. It's going to be very brief and to the point. It's called an elevator pitch because it should be short enough to say in the span of an elevator ride. It helps to introduce yourself to career connections in a compelling way. You can use this for more than just this fair. You can use it for informational interviews, networking events. It can be used to start an interview for a specific job. It is very context specific. So you will definitely be talking about the work you do, your academic and job accomplishments, maybe your career path a little bit, some skills you want them to know. It also serves as a great conversation starter, icebreaker for you at a career fair. It helps it make it easier to spark up a conversation, add in the research you've done, and you'll have a very lighthearted, free-flowing conversation going very quickly. Here's a sample elevator pitch. Hello, my name is Dori White. I am a second-year social work master's student with a concentration in community counseling. I'm interested in working with the LGBT population and recently volunteered with Center on House's Youth Drop-In program. I had the opportunity to really hone my acting listening skills and meditation skills while facilitating group mindfulness activities there. I'm interested in enhancing my clinical counseling skills with this population through my internship. Can you tell me more about the internship opportunities in your organization? You've painted a very comprehensive picture for whoever you're talking to. And if we're going to break it down, part 1 is who are you? The introduction. 2, you're going to go over your education. 3, your interests. What are you interested in and how maybe is it going to coincide with the particular company that you're talking to? Your skills. So what have you done? What are you currently doing that makes you possibly a good candidate to work with them? And then what is the question? So you definitely want to have a question to follow up with this elevator pitch. And vice versa, if you walk up to the table and they're like, oh, hi, my name is so-and-so. Tell me a little bit about yourself. This is where the elevator pitch comes in. And then you would still end it with a follow-up statement or question. You know, I came to talk to your organization because I've done a lot of research, and I really think that an internship with you guys could really help me build those clinical skills that I mentioned I'm trying to gain. Just have some type of flow to it, but this is a really great way to start it off. So we're going to get into what to wear. Professional attire are business casual, not nightlife style. Make sure to carry your portfolio or a plain folder. A backpack you can bring. The space that we're holding it in, you will have places to put your coats and backpacks, but do be mindful of space and do be mindful of your presentation. Still bring a portfolio or a folder or something to carry around with you, even if you do have your backpack. Make sure your clothes are clean and pressed before the day of. You want to look neat and presentable. And yes, it is about the attire, but how you wear the attire as well. Avoid heavy makeup, heavy fragrances. I will add into that, be mindful of your clothes. Be mindful of loud colors, gaudy colors, big prints and patterns. We do want everyone to stay true to who they are, but the focus is on you and who you are as a professional. You don't want things like heavy makeup, strong fragrances, wild colors to distract an employer from focusing on what you're there to do, and that's to network and hopefully make connections. Make sure your shoes are professional as well, as closely as you can. If you have a plain color sneaker that is clean and that is what you have, that is okay. Maybe you only have a pair of shoes that the heel is a little bit higher than you would prefer. Cater your outfit to that, so as again, it does not become that statement piece where everyone's focusing on it and not you. And when I touched on this, big jewelry, big outfits, things that could distract an employer, we recommend that maybe try to wear more neutral colors. So after the fair, you're following up. When you do the follow-up, reference something from your conversation. Mention something they talked to you, a shared moment, something that will help them jog their memory of you. You have to remember they're talking to a lot of students during the fair. So you may have had a great conversation and they could have had 5 or 6 great conversations. So referencing something helps you to stand out. Let them know that you will or you did connect with them on LinkedIn. If you connected on LinkedIn during the fair, let them know that. If you haven't and you maybe ask, can you connect with them and they give you permission, let them know that you're going to be doing that. And maybe around the time frame too. Restate your interest and excitement to work with them or gain more information about them. Still send a thank you even if you decide that you don't want to work for their site. So you may have talked to somebody, had a really great conversation, and you get home, you do some more research, and you're like, this just isn't for me. Still reach out to them, especially if you left a good impression, and let them know that as of right now, you appreciate their time, you appreciate them talking to you, but you have interest invested elsewhere and you would like to explore those, but you're still open to networking with them. You're still open to keeping a line of communication going because anything can shift and change, and a job that you're really interested in could become available at this very same place. So here's a sample thank you. Hello, Rachel. My name is Dori White, and we met during Loyola's social work career fair yesterday. Thank you for discussing your experience working at the Center on Halsted and explaining some of the available internship opportunities. I was excited to hear there were so many opportunities to develop my counseling skills with youth at Center on Halsted. I love to stay connected on LinkedIn, so please consider accepting my request. Thank you again, and it was wonderful getting to meet you. Best regards, Dori White. So again, very short, does not have to be long. You do always want to make sure you let them know where you met them. What did you all discuss? What is it that you're looking for out of the experience? If you didn't get a chance to send them your resume, you can also possibly attach it in your thank you, because maybe they haven't gotten a chance to check it on Handshake. Or maybe you gave it to them, it got lost in transit. These things happen. I always think it's nice to, provide it with them before they have to ask it of you again. So that is something else that you can do. I also think if you're looking for an informational interview, this is a great time to segue into that. Maybe you didn't get a chance to ask as many questions as you wanted, but you had a really great conversation. You're thanking them for taking the time out to talk with you. And now you're asking them, do they mind meeting with you for some more information and for them to discuss more things with you. So this is also a great way to segue into that. So now we're going to talk about after the fair, the reflection piece. What did you learn that you didn't know before going to the fair? Did the employers provide you with any additional contacts? What types of jobs can you tailor your resume for? You do want to keep a record of who you talked with and what jobs to apply for. Complete a survey about the fair if requested. And again, meet with your career advisor, which would be me, to discuss your experience and your next steps. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to preparing for the social work networking and career fair. I hope this information has provided you with everything you need to be very, very well prepared for the fair. Again, it will be March 17th, 2026 at the Schreiber Center located at 16 East Pearson. It will be on floors 9 and 10. Please feel free to log on to Handshake and book an appointment with me if you do need to meet with me to discuss anything that you heard in the video today. Again, thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you all at the fair.